Hello everybody. All right, so it is currently still -18 in Minnesota, and last week I made soup because it was cold, and now this week I'm going the opposite direction. I am making something tropical, and hopefully it'll be really comforting, but still like really fun and bright and make us forget that it's frigid outside. Hurts to breathe when you go outside. So it is like a chicken, well, you can use any protein really, kind of like a tropical fried rice without being fried. It's just like a rice, I don't even want to call it a pilaf, and I don't even know what the name is. It's from the Fit Men cookbook, and of course I tweaked a few little things. So I'm gonna give you the basics, I'm gonna finish prepping it, and then I'll show you how we're gonna put it all together. So basically you're gonna cook the chicken first, and so what I did is I just put it in a bowl and marinated it with salt, pepper. It really only calls for salt and pepper and sriracha. If you want the sriracha, I added my Alejo peppers that I'm obsessed with. I think I showed you guys this last time, Alejo pepper. I added red pepper flakes, I added paprika, and then I'm also gonna add some garlic. One of the things, this whole dish doesn't have any garlic, or doesn't call for any garlic, but I definitely think garlic is gonna be amazing, so I'm gonna add that. And just like I said, hasn't been sitting very long, but just kind of to start soaking it in there. And then there's a pineapple component. So it does say like to go get a fresh pineapple, but I don't want to A, work that hard, or B, it's probably not going to be that great right now. So I bought a tub of pineapple, and then I added water to it because for the sauce, it calls for pineapple juice. So instead of buying like extra cans, I just put some water in here, and while I've been prepping, I'm just letting it sit, and then I'm gonna use the water, so hopefully I get a little bit more flavor. You add the pineapple later to the sauce, so you don't have to use the pineapple sauce, or juice, I mean, but I just figured that'd be better than plain water, worth a shot. And then you add bell peppers at the end, raw. So you cook the chicken, cook the rice. I already started my rice. That is one thing I definitely forgot on some meal. It called for rice and it needed to be cooked already. So I had already like made all the food, and then I didn't have the rice. That's what you get for not reading the whole directions first. So always do that. So I already started my rice. Hopefully it'll be done like right by the time that I finish with the chicken and everything else. So that would be ideal. There's a sauce component that we're gonna make, and then I made like a pico. Instead of just putting the bell peppers in, I wanted more stuff. So I made this wonderful contraption here. So we have jalapenos, we have red bell peppers, and then red onions, and I just put a little bit of lime juice on it while it sits there so that it kind of gets a little bit of more flavor. And then it calls for green onion as a garnish, so I just used the little white butts because I love those, and I put it in there as well. So I'm just gonna let that sit. I chopped it up really, really fine. I used a lot of jalapeno because the last couple times I've used jalapeno, I haven't really been able to taste it. And of course, jalapeno and pineapple, match made in heaven. So that's why I did that. I'm gonna finish cutting everything up so that when we start cooking, it'll just be nice and easy. Okay, so now that I have everything pretty much prepped, I think we're pretty set to go. We're gonna do the sauce. And the thing that I will say about making sauce is that just wing it. Wing it. I know it's scary, and I know you have no idea how it's gonna turn out, but I find it so much easier because then you can just adjust as you go, and then you don't have to worry about like, oh, a teaspoon of this and a shake of that or whatever, because you're gonna have different taste buds anyway. It's a really good way to start and just get the baseline going off the recipe, but I think you'll usually end up with something much more flavorful and that you enjoy if you just kind of go at your own mixing experiment, okay? So that's my tip of the day for you, just do it. So I have my pineapple juice that I'm just gonna use, and then I can just add more water if I need to make it thicker, or not thicker, but if I need more. I'm using something new I've never used today. It calls for a starch. This is something I'm gonna check on how much to use. He just used like a spoon, so I'll probably just use that. I think it was 1 tablespoon. And I've never used this, so it's just to kind of thicken it up. He says to make it restaurant quality, so I'm all about that. It called for like arrowroot, but they didn't have that at the store I was at. So then of course it lists like some alternatives, which I really appreciate. So you can do cornstarch or tapioca starch. And I just figured I'd give this a try. So, all right, so I have the pineapple juice. It's really simple, this actually. It's just pineapple juice, soy sauce. So I'm just gonna pour a bunch of soy sauce in here. The arrowroot, ginger, or the starch, excuse me, and then ginger. And this is pretty much just to taste. So this is kind of what I'm talking, right? I'm just gonna pour some in here. He, of course, did like freshly shaved ginger. I really, really hate shaving ginger. I don't know why, but it's so difficult. You have to like peel it and then shave it, and I just like this stuff. It works really well. You do have to use a lot more, I feel like, because it's not as strong. But I mean, who cares, right? Saves you time. All right, so I'm gonna get a little whisk. I'm gonna whisk this up, see how it tastes, and keep kind of editing as we go. All right, so I'm mixing here as we go. It's not quite as flavorful as I want, so I'm adding more ginger. And then I'm gonna give you another little magic tip here. So a lot of times, like if you're making sauce, you don't want necessarily the chunky garlic, or if you're chopping up garlic, you know, that's really your only answer. So if you get these jars, oh, now of course you're not gonna be able to see because it's all full, but there's juice, right? And so if you can just like press your spoon down, you get an awesome little spoonful of this garlic juice, and you get a little of the pieces, right? But I just pour that right in to my sauce. And then same thing with that garlic. If you're buying that garlic instead of chopping it up, I still think it tastes really good. It's just not as potent, so you definitely need to add, like, I add like 4 times as much as it calls for, or as much as you'd think. So I'm just gonna add this in here, and then you can definitely tell how the sauce is runny because the base is just water and pineapple juice. So I'm really excited to add this and see, and I'm gonna try and set up my camera and see if you guys, if I can get it to where you can watch while I do it. So here we go. All right, this angle's okay, but it's resting on my paper towel, so if it slips, that's why. All right, so here we have the sauce. I got this arrowroot that is, or I'm sorry, the starch, tapioca starch that is like a total mess. So I'm just gonna take a spoonful, I'm gonna put it in here, and this whisk, oh my gosh, what a mess, has been working really good. So I'm just gonna keep with the whisking. Oh yeah, you can even see it change color, so it gets nice and thick. Oh yeah, much better. There we go. Oh, this pico is smelling so good, so fresh. It's kind of reminding me of summer, which was the whole point. Okay, so now let's taste this. Oh yeah, yep, that is perfect. I think I want a little more acidity, so I'm just gonna add some lime juice, and then I think we're set. But yes, that is good. It's gonna be awesome. All right, here we go, next steps. All right, so we're getting the pan nice and hot. We're just gonna, oops, turn down my fan here. Spray with some quick oil. Pop that chicken in. We're gonna cook it all the way through. So you can kind of see all those beautiful colors on there, lots of flavor. You can layer every part of your dish with flavors. You season every little piece. You're always gonna get something delicious, right? Every single layer should have that nice, some kind of flavor, right? And ideally all the flavors go together, but at least if you have flavor, you're in a good start. So if you guys remember from that soup video, right, I'm gonna leave all the goodness on the bottom of the pan when it's done cooking. I'm gonna take the chicken out, just like we took the ham out, and then I'm gonna use that same pan. I'm gonna put the sauce in to deglaze it and thicken it up, and then we're gonna add the pineapple after that. So make sure you use the same pan, something that, I got a nice little thicker one here, so not that the sauce is gonna take up that much room, but if you are making something with more liquid, you want something nice and thick that you can still use the same pan. So I'm gonna cook this, and then we're gonna make the sauce together. Okay, one little quick tip. For these big chicken breasts, to make sure they stay nice and moist, I'm searing them. I'm trying to not flip them as much as possible. And then I add a little bit of water with the lid on, and it just steams it. So it adds that extra moisture in there. That way you make sure it doesn't dry it out. biggest thing, especially because we're putting it into some other stuff with like hot rice and stuff. Make sure you don't overcook it. I know it's always afraid to undercook chicken, but it's just as bad to overcook it taste-wise and texture-wise. It's not good. Nobody likes that. Okay, so I just took the chicken off to check it. It's been about, I don't know, probably 2 minutes on each side. And it's still pretty raw in the middle, so I cut them all in half to check them all, make sure they're all kind of consistently raw in the middle. They're all really big, and so I think I probably could have cut them in half to begin with, but I don't like to do that in case all the moisture comes out or the juices, you know. So I cut them all in half. They're all pretty raw in the middle, so I'm just gonna let them cook probably another minute on each side or so, and we should be good to go. Then we'll start the sauce. All right, I think we're done. Got chicken looking fabuloso. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Look at the bottom of this pan too. Oh, might look, it's a little like burnt or like charred to the bottom, but that's perfect because we're gonna put the sauce on top. I actually am just gonna kind of scrape maybe a little bit with these. Yeah, look at that. This is a brand new pan too, so it's not sticking, which is amazing. But yeah, see how it's all, ooh yeah, flavor. Okay, so now I'm gonna reduce this to nice and low. I might even take it off the heat here for a second because I don't want the sauce to immediately like boil and go crazy. So I'm just gonna let it kind of cool here for a second, leaving my burner on low. Set this aside. Oh, I just wanna eat this chicken. It smells so good. All right. Goes back on. We're gonna pour it in. Nice and slow. Oh yeah, there we go. Not quite a sizzle, but. All right, so now we're just gonna bring this up. Oh, I hope this, oh, I don't know what that is. It stayed nice and hard. I thought that was gonna melt. Well, we'll see if it melts as we keep going here. It should melt right into that sauce. I'm gonna leave it and see. I think it's just the ooey gooey goodness. All right, so now we're just gonna, oh, it smells so good. That ginger is so fragrant. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of bring this lightly to a boil. It's gonna start to kind of get shiny, get a little bit thick, and then we're gonna add the pineapple in the sauce, and it's gonna get nice and coated and beautiful. And I decided that I'm gonna leave half the pineapple raw and put it in with the slaw that I made, or not the slaw, but the like pico that I made that we're gonna mix in with the rice. So I'm only gonna put about half of this in the sauce, and then I'm gonna put the rest with the pico, and then we're gonna put all that together. So I'm just gonna kind of cook this here, get it nice and thick. Hopefully I'll let you know what happens with these little chunks and we'll go from there. Okay, look at that. You can visibly see it getting darker and thicker. I'm gonna add the pineapple now. It looks so good. It smells even better. Basically, oh yeah, look at that. Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna eat all these, I think. Yum. All right, once this is done, I'm just gonna let it sit for a little bit longer, get nice and thick, and then I'm gonna put it all together. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. All right, I'm gonna do a little aerial pan over everything. So we have our sauce, we have our pico with those pineapples in it, cut up the chicken, and then here's our rice, always handy dandy rice cooker. Okay, oh, and then I have my green onions for toppings. Again, I'm doing meal prep, so I'm just gonna keep those separate. We can put them on whenever we eat it. And now we're gonna put it all together, and I hope it looks wonderful. Oh, and also the answer if those little black pieces broke up, they did not, so I just took it out. They probably would have after a while, but it was all looking so good. I just needed to get them out of there. So, all right, let's put this together. I also didn't really follow like serving size or how much rice or how much, you know, we kind of wung it on the sauce and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just gonna start kind of scooping the rice in and proportion it to the pico. And then I'm gonna add the chicken the same kind of way. And I'm just, if I have extra chicken or extra anything, I'll just save it and eat it later. I wanna mix this together while the rice is hot too, so that some of those peppers get a little bit of a softening. Oh, looks so good. All right, give me 2 seconds and I'll mix it all together and then I'll show you. Oh my gosh. All right, it is coming together so good. I had to switch to a spatula instead of a spoon because it is very difficult to mix. I need a bigger bowl. But look at that. Oh, it's so beautiful and it's so vibrant and so colorful. And that sauce, oh my gosh, with the pineapple coated in it, I definitely tasted the little pineapple. And you could put that on anything like sandwiches. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Like a teriyaki chicken sandwich with that on top. Oh, it'd be so good. All right, here we go. So this is our final project, looking pretty good. I'm gonna take a little bite here and see how it goes. Make sure I get some of that raw stuff in there. Oh my God. Wow, that's really good. It's really fresh. Tons of flavor. I love the veggies in there. I definitely do need some more salt, so I'm gonna salt the whole thing, and man, this is good. Excellent.